Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Friday, December 22nd, which puts Monday as Christmas, which I still plan to stream some amount on Christmas Day. How much, I can't really say, however. Because it's Friday, I need to get everything done, so 2 rogue and warrior victories, 5 victories with the druid and hunter, and play 15 demons. Some of this can be done by playing other people or by me cheating and playing myself. And as far as everything else, like the tavern brawl ends in 2 days, and so it'll just be done either on Christmas Day or right at the end of the day before Christmas Day. And I've already done the tavern brawl. There's really no reason to do an arena run at all, and while I am very much enjoying and want to show off, if I can, I don't even know if I can do this on the catacombs and kobolds and catacombs. Like, I have now been playing it a little bit as I was taking a break after Rise of the Tomb Raider and haven't started another game, which is to say I've been kind of lazy. But I've been doing other scheduling and paperwork stuff too. Shaman and Paladin both have gotten their victories, so that leaves only Warrior, Rogue, Hunter, Mage, Druid, and Priest. Only the 2/3 of the characters left to win. And every time I play this, I tend to run into at least one boss that is new to me. So you get these original 2, like the wee whelp and the rat, and that gives you this false impression that there isn't a lot of variety in the bosses, but there actually is a considerable amount of variety. On some tier, past the first challenge, so challenge 2 through 8, you run into something new. So there's at least 3 or 4 different enemies past the first one. Seems like the first one only has kind of 2. And some of the bosses are pretty crazy. There may very well become a time where we also get a secondary expansion to Kobolds and Catacombs, and that would be great with me. Like, if the next card pack just said, we've gotten more bosses in here, we've got a new reward if you beat the new bosses. You don't really have to even separate it out as a separate thing. You could just say we've got Kobolds versus Catacombs 2.0 and that's the next thing. From what I'm hearing of other people, they seem to be loving it too. Guess I need to play demons, so the first thing to do is see if I even have a warlock deck. Yeah, here's a custom warlock deck, and it's full of demons, so let's play this custom warlock deck and move on. There's a ton of news and the Steam winter sale to do. We might as well play as ranked and get those ranked wins where we can. So this is gonna be a long one. Tragic Master is already on the chat. Sorry, I'm 50 seconds late. Full ad support. So I guess that means he saw an ad and Tyler came on and said, "Sup, man? Hey Tyler, hey Tragic." I certainly was wondering as I was starting today, like, I could have just waited till 4 p.m. and I could sort of always try to wait till 4 p.m. and maybe that would make the YouTube algorithm suggest my videos more, because they do like consistency, or they say they do. But there would definitely be days where I didn't start at 4 and I'd start at 5, and I just really don't think I can get any more consistent than somewhere around between 2 p.m. if I wake up really early, which I probably shouldn't start early even if I do wake up early, and between 6 p.m. if I wake up really late. Maybe one day I'll learn how to be more consistent, but so much news, so much news. Let's see. Just as long as YouTube is getting better at announcing, like, that's the thing that YouTube used to be pretty bad about on live streams, is you'd start a live stream and the service that announced it would just be down, and you could stop the live stream, start it over again, you could stop it, wait 5 minutes, start it over again, nothing would fix it. Usually when that service was down, it would be down for a significant amount of time, at least 12 hours. One thing, there's this, one of the people that work at YouTube has a channel to talk about YouTube, and they put up a poll going, do you want this to be monthly with more polish, or bi-weekly with some polish, or weekly with no polish? And the vast majority, and it's so obvious that they really shouldn't have even had to ask. It's like, the purpose of your channel is to inform YouTube creators. We want that information as soon as possible. We don't care how polished or unpolished it is. It's not like they were really doing any real polishing in the first place. This is hardly content that is going to make it to the top of the trending tab unless they intentionally cheat the trending service. Let's see. Play this now. I think. It's much closer to something like a business meeting, or a cheesy video a manager might send to its introductory employees. That's the word I'm trying to use. This is one of those scenarios where I'm sadly gonna win before I play enough demons. Alright, first bit of news. ARMS is getting another new character before the end of the year. His name is Dr. Coyle, C-O-Y-L-E. I assume that's a him. I guess that says something. Just to assume all doctors are male. Well. Let's see, play this. Recruit a demon. I don't know if recruiting a demon plays towards the daily quest. It probably doesn't. Come to think of it. Taz has just finished Hello Neighbor and came to the stream, Rydo. Interesting. Hello Neighbor was the one that was in early access for a long time, and you think your neighbor's doing something bad, and you sneak into his house and try not to get caught. Yeah, I think that's that game. I didn't. Let's see. Play this. Do 3 damage to the hero. Well then, I suppose it is better to do this than it is to.
I can ease your pain.
Nope, can't do anything else. The thing about Hello Neighbor is it was definitely one of those big stream games that was very, very popular for a short time for live streamers, and people were certainly playing a lot in beta, and that's almost always a deadly combination for the game actually being good. In my opinion, I could kind of see the idea of the game, but I don't have a full idea of why I'd want to play that. Sneaking into somebody's house and being chased, that seems like a lot of the old horror games where the enemies are like old PlayStation 1 and old PC games where you're being chased by some immortal enemy and you're just trying to escape and hide, and the hide and go seek concept never has interested me. There was Minecraft mods and versions of Minecraft where you play hide and go seek, and it's slow. The difference between something like Hello Neighbor and a stealth game, what I would call stealth games, is usually in stealth games you sneak around to get behind an enemy so you can stab them in the back with a knife and then they're dead. I don't think you can do anything like that, at least not permanently. So, that being said, if somebody wanted me to play it, like, I would probably do just a spotlight on it. It is also very possible that a game like Hello Neighbor might be very, very fun to play personally, not streaming it. But it doesn't play well when streaming. There's a considerable number of games like that, where somebody might have a lot of fun playing a visual novel, for example, but trying to get people to do all the reading that the streamers doing is too much of a ask for a lot of people. Tragic Master says good game. Thank you. Moving on with the news, I didn't mean to really go into a rant about Hello Neighbor. I'm really failing here to play 15 demons, even though I keep winning. We might be having some network trouble on Hearthstone side, so this might be one of those situations where you can get a bunch of victories in a row. Ace Attorney Investigations 2 is now available for smartphones in Japan. I am anxiously looking at smartphone games in Japan to see how many of those get translated over to a Western audience and get translated to English, and how many just stay in Japan. There's a lot of Japanese only and Asian only cell phone games, but they're usually not from big companies or big name games that have name recognition. So I'm still kind of waiting to see what the big video game makers that also happen to make cell phone games on the side are going to decide to do. Let's see. Tyler says that Hello Neighbor is better than he thought. I need to do a spotlight on it. Alright, well, whenever I purchase it and get around to it. Right now I'm looking at the Steam summer sale and trying to budget to actually spend any money whatsoever since I've already overspent, particularly on Legos. So I went in on the Steam summer sale, put in a collection of things that are on my list, my wish list of things that I want to eventually get and play. And it's kind of hard to buy anything knowing that next year my plans are to slow down and not cover as many games. And so in previous sales, summer sales and winter sales, I've gotten a lot of 99-cent games, things that are hidden object games and things that aren't quite as demanding on my time, and they're not the big AAA things. But on this one, I was looking more towards filling in some games that I want to own on my Steam account but aren't particularly going to cover. So the Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen series, whatever, those games that are available are really old games, and I probably wouldn't cover them anytime soon, if ever, but I do want them. One of the bundles that stayed in my list is just a Disney Princesses bundle with a bunch of maybe one good Disney princess game and 5 bad ones, just because I want to have kids games, and kids games pretty much equal Disney games at this point, as far as things I could cover. Let's just attack here. So I was looking at a lot of other things. I want to get Season 2 of Pinball Arcade, the Season 2 Pro Pack, because it's the only season of their seasons that are available on sale. So mostly it's about just filling in gaps that I'm looking to. But I put that whole list together, and at the beginning, the cart before tax and all, which I don't think I pay any tax on sales of the games, but whatever. It was up to $585, and I'm not going to spend $585 on games, while the vast majority of them may not even get played in the next year. Also, the winter sale is not hugely great. The sales haven't been great for a long time. So I'm looking at things minimum 75, where I used to only consider things when they were minimum 85 or 90. Getting 90% off on most things is just not possible anymore. So yeah, then I went through that $5.95 and I did a second pass and started eliminating things and saying, I don't need to pay $5 for this. That's really where I've gotten down to is games that are $5 that are often also several years old, if not 10 plus years old, but they're still $5 because a lot of companies just don't let the games ever go down below $5. And so I'm looking more, moving away from the 99-cent cheap games, often the terrible games on Steam, to more $5 games that were good in their day but aren't good in modern day. Try to fill in gaps there. And so after the second pass, which was pretty easy, I got it down to $119, and I think that's about where I'm going to spend, how much I'm going to spend, if I can justify spending anything at all. This sale is giving Steam trading cards for every $10 you spend, so that is something to consider. It seems at least also get trading cards for buying games for other people, because you don't get trading cards for every $10 gifted to you. And I know that because I was gifted games by Travis, and boy did he over deliver. He had talked about how he was going to give me the Evil Within one, and he gave it to me, and I said thank you, and then I said I'll try to start playing it and covering it in January. So there will be an extra game coverage in January as long as I can get around to it. I'm pretty committed to doing that since I've already installed the game and it is taking up a lot of space on the hard drive, the SSD. But then I'd say about 20 minutes later, he decided to also give me Fallout 4 and the Jackbox Party Pack 3. And so he's given me 3 games just out of the kindness of his heart, which also means he's also my best benefactor for this year, because YouTube certainly hasn't cut me a check this year. In fact, YouTube ad revenues year to date is barely $50 in ad revenue, so I imagine Travis may have paid me more than theoretically what I earned in ad revenue, and that works a lot better, frankly, as a system, at least in my mind. So thanks to Travis, and if Travis jumps on, I'll thank him again. Let's look at the chat. Let's see. Tyler says you need to add more stuff on Nightbot. At Tragic Message, at Tragic Master, have you played Oxygen Not Included? It's like a base building game. And then Tragic says, nah man, I am a creature of habit. Skyrim and Hearthstone is all I play. And then Tyler says, KK, the old Battlefront 2 will never not be good, says Tyler. Let's just go ahead and continue a win streak. Play another demon. Oxygen Not Included, yet another game I've considered, because I've considered them all. I'm not sure I'd particularly like it. There's a lot of games that all have that similar feel to base building style games. If Tyler told me Oxygen Not Included was the best base building game ever, and it was way better than all the others, that'd be great, but I still kind of also have this nostalgia. I'd rather just probably play Warcraft, the original Warcraft game, or StarCraft, and those are real-time strategies, not really base building games, so maybe there is some old base building game I did play and like, but I can't think of it.
I can ease your pain. Thank you.
Yep, I just lost there. Let's see. I think I do own Battlefront 2 because I think I do own all the Star Wars games. So for May the 4th be with you, in the month of May, I will try to play 2 more Star Wars games. Probably I would want to go in order and play Battlefront 1 if I own that. But if those games turned out to be incredibly long, I'm pretty sure I would rage quit before I finished them. 5 games with Druid and Hunter. So Druid, Hunter, Warrior, Rogue, whatever. Let's see if we can find something here that is worth playing. Let's see. Pirate, Druid. Why not? I guess I need to skip over any articles that are just kind of idea articles and not news articles. So Your Gamer has an article called Video Games and the Power of Winter. I'm kind of just going to skim through it and see if anything interesting is said. It seems to be a nice collection of games who have pictures of winter around them. Witcher 3 certainly had a lot of wintry areas. But it's just kind of a setting. It's like you're either in a brightly lit summer forest, or you're in a darkly lit horror forest, or you're in a brightly lit winter forest. The main issue is that there's a lot of forest trees in the forest in most games, usually because it's easier. Tyler's trying to use this apostrophe SR, which is something I didn't even know worked. And for some reason, YouTube is blocking it. So I would say song, type in apostrophe song request and then the name instead of SR, or song ad. I don't even know what it is. As far as commands with Nightbot's in beta, there's not a ton of things I can add there. The Easter eggs are about as much as I could figure out of anything to say. Literally, unless the creators of Nightbot program something into it, there's no real interactivity I can do. I know I wanted some of the Easter eggs to randomize their response when they come back with a response, but it's kind of impossible. So, and that quotes thing doesn't seem to exist, at least on mine. So if somebody programmed in a command that says asterisk quotes, it doesn't seem to be by default in Nightbot, because I looked. That was interesting. Or maybe that command comes installed by default if you connect to your Twitch account, which I don't stream on Twitch, so that is another possibility, is that there might just be more commands later based on what accounts are connected to it. Well, it looks like Nightbot is broken. Sorry, Tyler. Because it is not responding at all. It should be telling you something, even if you type something wrong. That is the other issue with Nightbot, is that it sometimes just gets blocked by YouTube as a spammer, so you really can't even do too much about that. Oh, I could have won. Could have just won right then. That was a waste. Moving on with the next bit of news, since I have a lot. A game called Diabolic Lovers Grand Edition launches March 29th in Japan. Let's see. It'll be on the PlayStation 4. And it's a collection of 2 previous games that were released on the PS Vita and in December and January of 2013, and then December 2013 and January 2015. It looks like a visual novel again. And he sent everything back to my hand. Which means I lost all those mana crystals until I can spend mana crystals to get the mana crystals back. What a great way to get rid of a mana trend.
My hand is too full.
But he's already lost, so unless there's something he can do. There's a Fist of the North Star, or Hokuto ga Gotoku PlayStation 4 model has been announced in Japan. It looks just like a regular PlayStation 4 with a Fist of the North Star picture on the front of it. There is certainly an underlining fan base of Fist of the North Star peoples in the West too, so that might interest a few people. I keep covering all these Japanese things, and I just assume or hope that eventually people who are interested in importing things from Japan are getting something out of it, or at the very least. Yep. Tyler says, "Well, it's broken. I guess but I'll try later." All right, fine. Try all you want. The Nightbot systems are differently connected, so one thing might work and the other thing might not. Let me just see if the music is changing, because if I don't hit play, it'll just suggest the same song over and over again. Yeah, the music is changing.
Malfurion versus Malfurion.
Spelling of the song title might be off. You're right, or you're right, or you're right. Not sure. But just my thought. Tyler says, nope. That is the song name. Even if it couldn't find the song, which just it would find something, because it's basically just searching Google and YouTube. So, like, but if it literally couldn't find anything, I still imagine it would say something if it was working. Darn it. I just hit back too many times on my phone, and now the chat's disappeared for a second. It's funny, when you reload the page for the chat, it does it one message at a time. Just the same message. The same old messages. You'd think it could just get them all. But it takes several seconds between every single message to pop back up. That's probably something that YouTube is still working on to do right. The streaming of chat along with the rewinding of video, because you know on Twitch, I don't think you can really rewind video, or most people can't allow their videos to be rewound. The live chat is always in sync with the video, but in YouTube's version, that's not always the case. If somebody's rewound and to the beginning, you would want to see the chat that was being said then, and probably some kind of warning saying you're seeing old chat. That way it makes more sense. Otherwise, you're gonna watch the live video and watching the live video is going to is going to not line up or make any sense with the what's being talked about in the chat. Let's see, Tragic Master is trying to put a URL in there, and that's just getting stopped by Well, that worked, so it must be something about that specific song's name. Maybe if you put it in parentheses it would work, but links aren't going to work. Anytime you type in something that Google recognizes as potentially even part of a link, it's going to block it, and anything that gets blocked and then I have to click to allow, Nightbot doesn't see at all, it seems. The game Atelier, Atelier Online has been delayed to 2018 in Japan. More time is needed for quality improvements is the subtitle here. I don't think there's anything more to say about that, so let's move on. I'm going to skip over some of these lists that are end of the year lists. And let's see, the job listings. We'll skip over that too for now. I'm trying to win here. The founding member of the Lizard Squad, which I believe is oh no, I thought it was an esports team, but apparently Lizard Squad is a group of cyber attackers that took credit for taking down the PlayStation Network in 2014 around Christmas, has pled guilty. So the charges can often carry a sentence up to 10 years in prison, but prosecutors are recommending a sentence of 2.5 years if he cooperates with a planned investigation. So it almost seems like they're making him seems like they're going easy on him so he works with something. Let's see. Lizard Squad rose to prominence after disrupting the PlayStation Network, with a distributed denial of service attack in August 2014. I guess that wasn't the Christmas one, was it? Oh man, I should have played that first. This is why I'll never be a great YouTube Hearthstone player right there, is I just don't pay enough attention to order. The group also managed to get a plane carrying the Sony Online Entertainment president John Smedley diverted to a different location by tweeting a bomb threat to American Airlines. They continued to hound Smedley after he has moved to H1Z1 developer Daybreak and took responsibility for multiple DDoS attacks against the company. The serious nature of the crimes prompted the FBI to look into the matter, while the UK's National Crime Agency also began its own investigation and eventually managed to arrest 5 teens in connection with the attacks. Like, seriously, teenagers, what are you doing with your lives that you're harassing the PlayStation Sony Online Entertainment president? That like, is this just fanboyism, or are they just big Xbox fans, or Or did they have some real grievance against him? Or what? I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out like all of them got kicked off the PlayStation Network for cheating and they took it personally, even though they were cheating. That'd be my guess. See, Tyler finally got it to work. He had to type in the name of, I believe, the band. Maybe it must have just been too generic a title. According to a Russian news agency, according to PC Gamer, so this is third-hand information at minimum, a man has died in a VR accident. So this is the first VR accident we're aware of in which someone has died. Let's see, a 44-year-old Moscow man died after falling through a glass table while wearing a virtual reality headset. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the last thing I would imagine you would want while playing VR is to have furniture or anything you can trip on and fall on, which kind of shows the unusability of VR, because you practically need a 10 by 10 square foot or cubic foot room empty of all furniture and everything except for what's needed to actually make the VR work. I can imagine bumping into a lot of things, and if you fall through a glass table, you certainly could get stabbed and bleed to death, or just die from impact. I'm gonna skip this because it's an opinion piece. Skip this one because it's a job piece. So, Star Trek Bridge Crew is now playable without a VR headset, which that's kind of great, because I'm still waiting for Star Trek Bridge Crew to be something that could be playable as a single player experience before I could play it. And I would like for it to be in a finished finished position. Let's skip to this druid while we're playing. But it does look like a fun and modern game. And for the future of Star Trek games, I imagine they're going to take a lot from the Bridge Crew game. This may also be the first instance of a game patching out a system requirement in the form of VR. And it certainly is more evidence that you can't make money making a VR-only game. As I understand it, Star Trek Bridge Crew has a collection of events that happen, and you are controlling one panel of the many panels on Star Trek. I guess that inherently makes the game kind of boring, because you're pushing buttons to control just a part of the ship, whereas a lot of games you would just be the captain giving the orders. There's a long history of Star Trek games, but not a really long history of great Star Trek games. The same is also true for Star Wars, but Star Wars does have Knights of the Old Republic and Battlefront to fall upon, and I would even say The Force Unleashed, one of my personal favorite Star Wars games. There was an update to Desert Bus VR. Desert Bus VR is free. Let's see, you have to do the Desert Bus VR EULA. It is a real EULA. I thought that would have been a joke. End user license agreement. Yeah, I still don't think you can play Desert Bus VR without a VR system though, so unlike Star Trek Bridge Crew, Frankly, they kind of are the same game, aren't they? Except for one is intentionally boring and one is attempting to be fun. Let's see. Tyler says, and that's why I have a nice spaced out room for VR. And then he's doing some more, and Tragic Master is requesting more music. Let's see. Play this. It's even worse if you wanted to stream or play VR on YouTube, because the only way it makes sense is you probably need a camera to watch the player in the VR system play, and then you need a very powerful computer to play the game by itself, and then probably a second very powerful computer to record the footage. That's why you don't see a ton of people playing VR, or if they do play it, they play it for very short amounts of time because there aren't that many games anyways. VR kind of has that Virtual Boy issue of it making people nauseous and just isn't as playable as a sit-down game in front of a TV. Blizzard says, sorry for Hearthstone quest glitches. Some players have had to wait for their dailies to update, and Blizzard feels bad about that, so it's giving it away some free kobolds and catacombs packs, which honestly I deserve a lot of free packs because I have been seeing a lot of that lately. Those who do encounter a delay may have to wait 10 to 30 minutes after first logging in before the daily quest appears. You don't need to stay logged in during that time, so you can go do something else while you wait. That certainly explains why I kept having to log out and then log into a different account and then log back into the other account after playing a game. Is it kept just acting crazy. The good news, the makeup for this hassle, Blizzard is giving everyone 3 Kobolds and Catacombs card packs. The packs will arrive as a Bell.net gift in early January, which frankly, honestly, they probably would have done that anyway, so they're kind of giving you nothing. And giving everybody more cards is, I suppose, a good thing, but not as nice as they could be. They should be handing out some of those golden packs where you are guaranteed golden versions of epics, or you're guaranteed 5 legendaries. Tragic Master is Tyler is asking Tragic Master how old he is, and saying just asking. Tragic Master has put a number on there. Maybe it's the truth, maybe it's not. Personally, I would not recommend anybody give out any personal information, because over the course of a long experience, you can leak out a lot of personal information and find it on the internet, never to be erased and used against you. Frankly, I think age is overemphasized a lot. Gender also is overemphasized in the Western society a lot, when they really don't matter. Particularly in video games, if somebody was 100 years old and they were great at video games, there's really no difference from them playing a video game and somebody who was 4-year-olds and playing a video game. In the end, we're all controlling a animated persona of sorts, a player character, and it's pretty much the same. So I bet age is really just a number, and it's kind of an unimportant number. People attribute it to mean that you should be at a certain point in your life, like you should have a job by now, you should be in this grade of school by a certain age, you should be married by a certain age, you should have kids by a certain age, you should have retired by a certain age. But particularly in the United States, though, that's becoming less and less consistent. And in the old days of the internet, we always lied about our ages anyways, and people still do it. We like, are you 18 or older? Can you go to this website? Sure, I'm 12, but I'll tell them I'm 18 years and older. The winter sale is Steam winter sale has begun. This is the PC Gamer article talking about it. They're recommending Elite Dangerous, Rainbow Six Siege, Stories Untold, Prison or Architect, What Remains of Edith Finch, Assassin's Creed Origins. The next Assassin's Creed game I need to buy is Black Flag, and getting the gold edition of that is still pretty expensive. It's like $20, but that was a very popular Assassin's Creed game, so it's just not going to go down in price. Watch Dogs 2, Astronomer, Inside, and Vanquish. And then if you want to see PC Gamer's Steam Curator page, they have a link there. And the Steam Awards voting, which let's see if I can do that right now. Alright, so the Steam sale, or the Steam Awards at least, are December 21st to January 4th. And oh, you're supposed to vote each day. Ooh, so that means I didn't vote yesterday. I didn't realize that was the case. Well, today's vote is the Mom Spaghetti Award, which none of that made any sense, frankly. Really none of it made any sense as far as what you were supposed to nominate, and since everybody was just going to be nominating games from all over the history of video games, what gets picked is just mostly going to be a popularity contest. The Mom Spaghetti description is this: there are games that make you excited, there are games that make you happy, then there are games that are so intense that they elicit a physical reaction. We're talking weak knees, we're talking sweaty palms, we're talking fear-induced accidents, we're talking your friends reminding you to breathe. We're talking about Mom Spaghetti. So apparently it was supposed to be a scary game. So the options are Alien Isolation, Outlast, Resident Evil 7, PUBG for no real reason, The Enemy Within 2, The Evil Within 2. So I'll just pick the Resident Evil 7, and because I voted, I got a trading card, but I suppose I missed a trading card yesterday. Tomorrow will be Labors of Love. Like, they really didn't do a great job of explaining this stuff to people. Like, at all. And that feels like that really sucks. What did this do? I have no idea why that happened. Frozen clone. Okay. Let's see. There's a game called Gun Demon GUNDEMONUIUMS for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita that launches February 1st in Japan. Let's see. It's a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. It actually looks quite different from what you expect from Japanese games. It looks very arcadey and old school. Shoot-'em-ups come in and out of fashion, certainly. Just kill this. But usually, when you're playing a shoot 'em up, they turn into bullet hell shooters, and there usually is either some mecha robots or anime girls in it, and it doesn't look like either one of those. Here's a search page for Deep Silver games. I was probably trying to see if you could get Saints Row 1 on Steam. You can't. I think it was an Xbox exclusive. Or a console exclusive. So I was probably thinking then about getting either the complete collection of Saints Row the Third or Saints Row 2. It's part of my shopping process. Let's see, Tyler says, I hate when you say something rude to your older brother. Then he is like, respect your elders. My older brother always used to do that, and I would always get so mad. Have you ever felt that feeling, Tragic Master in Rydo? So now first he asks your age, then he asks if you have an older brother. He'll be up to asking for your social security number here in a few hours. But to more generally answer the question, yes, I am paranoid about information I put on the internet, and that's the right way to do it. But to answer the other question, in general, the concept of respecting your elders is a bad concept on many, many facets. It is frankly only created by people who have no authority in an argument whatsoever. Because what they mean when they say respect your elders is they mean blindingly listen to me and agree to what I'm saying. They're not saying give them some kind of renown for achievements, because they're not basing any of their requests for respect on their achievements. The only achievement of being an elder is that you lived long, which isn't really that remarkable. It's a very bad thing to teach kids, because it allows people, older people, to use that to abuse those children in any number of ways. It's similar to saying always listen to your children, to a teacher, or a teacher's always right, or the principal is always right, or the police are always right. And in the real world, none of that is true. Yeah, it comes from a bad form of parenting in which you just dumb everything down to a single sentence instead of putting any kind of nuance or sense or logic into things. Now, the argument could be made that somebody might have had experiences, and because they're older, that they might be able to add some information to it. But by using the phrase, just listen to your elders, respect your elders, that person is failing to educate or share their experience and instead just saying, do what I say without question. And that probably means they don't have any experience. This goes up also to like respecting the president or the flag of any country. It's like, unless there's a reason that they would like to explain, you probably shouldn't just blindly and religiously follow something. So that's my 2-minute take on it. Tyler goes, What is your phone number? Just kidding. Tragic says, logic, Socratic dialogue are all you need to reach an agreement. Given someone the benefit of the doubt due to age, education is not a good policy. Logic and the Socratic dialogue would work, assuming the person you're talking to believes in logic and that type of dialogue. The problem is a lot of people just are headstrong jackasses. There's really no other way to say it. And so nothing you say or do will change their mind. Dialogue and debate are often very useless because it takes a lot of patience and a lot of effort to get somebody to change their mind, and a lot of people will just never change their mind. You may berate them and wear them down to the point where they'll shut up and they'll say they agree with something, but in their heart they haven't changed their mind. So honestly, trying to convince somebody of something is probably the biggest waste of your time in life. Tyler says, also my brother is my twin, so he is only 2 minutes older. Well, we're at about the 50-minute mark, and so what I want to do is break up this episode here and switch over to the European account, since we know the American account is probably going to get some cheating in the post-game show. That's just become my new standard way of operating, just to save time. With the Evil Within being so graciously donated to me by Travis and other games that I need to record, the more time I can save for those pre-recorded shows, the better. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.